Hello and welcome back to the Bright Light Wellness YouTube channel and the Bright Light Wellness Substack. Welcome to my new space. If you have been watching my videos, whether it's been on YouTube, whether it's been on Substack, the podcast, The Quantum Health Connection, or if you've been a client of mine, you know that my space was kind of in the middle of my center of my house. So I have never had a dedicated office, and now I do. So yeah, if you noticed in my videos previously, my space was kind of in my living room. It was connected to my kitchen because I have like an open concept house. So it was kind of, my space was kind of in the hub of the home, right? In the center of everything. I had set up that office back in 2020 when I was a special ed teacher in my past life. And I had set up that office space up there when I had to teach virtually. So it was really not in a space that was very private, and could give me my own space to do my own creative work. And I have been manifesting my own office for a very long time. In fact, I wrote it down for one of my goals for 2026 was that I had my own office space that I really felt good working in. And we've made that come through fruition. So where am I now? I am downstairs in my finished basement. We bought this house back in 2014. And very shortly after we had remodeled the house, because this house was a complete gut job, and my husband is a contractor, so I was very fortunate that he could do all that work for us. We had decided to finish the basement at some point, maybe 2016 or so. And we made it a playroom for my boys. I have three boys, which are now 14, 16, and 10. So over the years, they haven't played with toys anymore. They haven't really played with this. So this used to be a place that they were in all the time, but as they've gotten older, it kind of became a place to just store junk. And it's a beautiful finished basement, and it kind of seemed like a waste of space that we were just storing junk down here. So we had cleaned it out over the winter with the hope that either I would be down here with my office or my oldest son would be down here for his bedroom. And lo and behold, we decided that that wasn't going to work for my oldest son. Being 2 floors away from us just wasn't really the right move. So we decided to put me down here with my office. Now, coming downstairs to a basement to work, I had some reservations, honestly. And why is that? Because number one, the lighting down here is crap. It's LED lighting. Now, of course, fear of these things is worse than these things in any way, shape, or form. So fear of, not healthy lighting in your environment is worse than the actual toxicity of that unhealthy lighting. But knowing everything that I know, I did not want to be downstairs in a basement with LED lights. Like, when my first thought of coming down here was like, oh no, it's too dark and I can't use these LED, can lights. I have the basic LED can lights down here. So I was like, wow, can I make this work? How do I make this adapt? So I'm going to talk to you about how I'm making my office space warm, welcoming, and really friendly for my health and a friendly work environment that's supportive to me. So, the first thing that I wanted and I requested if I was going to be moving down here for my office was a bigger window. We had a small, you know how those basements, it's a basement, so you have those like very small windows. So I requested a nice big window to sit next to, which I can kind of turn and show you. There's it. It's actually open. So anyway, now you can't see me. I'll go back. I'm sorry, I'm not really good at like I'm on my desktop, so I can't like show you around the office that well. I can turn it a little bit. But anyway, I requested that I have a window. Why do you want a window? Because I wanted natural light. So we got an egress window here, so it's like double the size. It adds a lot of natural light down here, and I can open it up. And actually, it's for safety reasons as well. You want to have an egress window because, God forbid, there was a fire upstairs, I would be trapped down here, and there's no way to get out, right? So it is a safety reason that you should have an egress window in your basements. And I'm very fortunate enough that my husband can do these things as a contractor. Anyway, so I have this beautiful egress window in here that lets in a lot of natural light. Now, why is that important for health? Is because, if you're downstairs in a dark basement during the day when you're supposed to be having bright days, right? That's going to be counterproductive to your health and your circadian rhythms. And because the night light is our natural, like, signal to regulate just about everything in our biology. So I wanted natural light in, and I wanted to be able to open the window and let all that natural light in. So I feel really good sitting next to this nice open one window, and it does feel nice and bright down here. even though I don't have much lighting on. I don't have any of the recessed lighting on, any of the LEDs on. I did bring down two strainless light bulbs. Strainless is my favorite incandescent light bulb. You can feel the infrared, you can feel the heat. So this is letting off some nice infrared heat, a nice infrared light. Of course, I'm getting natural infrared light and all this other spectrums by opening the window and letting that natural light in. Remember, light is a nutrient, right? We need to be exposed to it as much as we possibly can. But giving these little stringless light bulbs in here, I've got two of them. I've got one over on the other side of my desk and one over here. Just gives me some nice, more warm infrared light, especially to use at night if I'm down here, which I'll talk about with boundaries is not my hope to be down here at night too much, but it gives me another source of lighting and another source of infrared. Now, another thing I brought down here, and I can't really show you, but another thing I did bring down here is Chroma. I have a Chroma light. Let's see if I could turn my computer and show you Chroma. Nah, probably not. That's probably a really bad idea. Okay, not gonna do that. I have another light. It's called Chroma. If you go onto my Instagram, if you really want to see what my office looks like, and you go onto my Instagram, you'll see my Instagram is bright underscore light underscore wellness. If you go to the one that has an underscore after wellness, that's my backup account. So the one you can see I'm active in the one that's not my backup account. So anyway, it's bright underscore light underscore wellness. And I created a story section, in the what is that called? Story highlight on my office. So you could take a look if you want to look at it. But I have a chroma light as well, and that's shining directly on me. Basically, it's this big, it's called a sky portal. You can go check it out on Chroma, getchroma.co. And what it does is it's kind of like a light box, but it has some infrared in it. Because I did check with Matt, who was on our podcast as well, the Quantum Health Connection, and it's giving me that lux, right? Because this is a basement. I'm not having any overhead lighting in here. So I've just got the open window and the stainless bulb right next to me. When I sat down here, I said, I need some more lux. So I went and I brought my chroma down here, my sky portal down here to bring me that brightness because lux plays an enormous role on your metabolism, your immune system, your hormone health. We need to have bright days. So I need that extra lux, but I didn't want to get it from, LED lightings. So I brought that down here as well. So that's shining directly on me. Very helpful for if you have a darker office space or if you have seasonal depression or something like that. I do have discount codes for stainless light bulbs, incandescent light bulbs, and for Chroma. And the discount code for both of those is Bright Light Wellness. So you can go and check those out if it's something you're interested in. Um, so that's two ways that I'm optimizing this environment is I have a big window open and I have lighting that's supportive to my health. Another thing that I've done down here, which is not something new, but I do think it's important to share if you're trying to optimize an office space, I'm just gonna have to sip, is our whole house is hardwired, meaning we do not have Wi-Fi in our home. We're probably the only family on our block that doesn't have Wi-Fi. And yes, other families do, but the inverse square law does make a difference, right? So if we are, at least doing our part and not having like the inverse square law means how close that Wi-Fi is to you has an effect. So when I got really sick, one thing I did notice was that non-native EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies that were not native, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, these things were impacting me. And the first thing I started doing was turning my Wi-Fi off at night, and I noticed how my sleep really improved a lot. So then we wind up hardwiring our home, meaning that we got rid of the Wi-Fi. We also got rid of our smart meter, which was next to my son's bedroom. And we hardwired it. So all Wi-Fi means is wireless internet. You can have internet with wire connections. You just have a router, then a splitter, and then a wire that plugs into the computer or printer or whatever you need. So it's just wired internet versus wireless internet, right? So instead of the internet just running through, the whole ether, right? All the air around you, it's running through a wire, so it's not in the environment as much. Now, the nice thing about having Ethernet is that it allows me to put my computer on airplane mode. So my computer, because you're not going to get away from non-native EMFs in a computer no matter what you do, or a cell phone no matter what you do. But what it does is you can put your computer now, my computer is on airplane mode and the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are off, which cuts down on the non-native EMFs tremendously. So that's another way that I'm optimizing my work environment because I don't want Wi-Fi, it's very disruptive. Again, we don't have fear around these things. It's worse than the actual thing, but we can mitigate these things. We can make environments more supportive for us. And non-native EMFs disrupt, cellular hydration, which disrupt cellular coherence. They disrupt mitochondria function and they disrupt the nervous system. So I would rather not have those fields interfering with me as much as I can. Now, of course, I'm not 100% away from it because my neighbor has Wi-Fi, right? But that, like I said, that inverse square law, that distance really is your friend when it comes to non-native electromagnetic frequencies. And just having my computer on airplane mode and the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth turned off makes a huge difference. Okay. Um, so those are like the main things that are most important that I wanted to share with you about, my office space and how I'm prioritizing this. It's really nice to have a dedicated space, which has been a goal of mine for a very long time. And I wrote it down this year that 2026 was going to be the year to do it. Because I spend many hours supporting clients, researching, making remedies, creating remedies, packaging remedies, running my business, creating content, and I wanted a space that felt healthy, peaceful, and organized and inspiring. So anyway, we got rid of the non-native EMFs down here. We're hardwired with Ethernet. I don't need Wi-Fi, eliminated Bluetooth, my computer stays in airplane mode, right? And it's much better for my nervous system to have it that way. Like I said, we have the large egress window, which really completely transformed this basement. Honestly, when I came down, I was like, wow, this is a totally different space. Natural light was a non-negotiable for me. My desk is positioned right next to the window, which helps being able to look outside where I work, makes the space feel more bright and connected to nature rather than feeling like an office basement. And for lighting, again, like I'm using the two incandescent light bulbs from Strainless, as well as a Chroma Sky Portal, which helps additional daylight spectrums illuminate the space, especially during darker months. Like during darker days and winter, it's going to be so imperative to have that down here. There are some things I would like to still add if I was making an optimal office space. I would also have an air purifier down here, which is probably something that I will invest in at some time, along with some indoor plants to improve air quality, to bounce off infrared, and to just bring more life into the room. So that's something that I'm going to be adding in eventually at some time. The other thing I love about having it down here is everything is really, really organized, and I love things to be organized. I mean, I definitely have an arsenicum album layer in my constitution. All of my homeopathy books, my educational material, my remedy making supplies, my shipping supplies are now in one place and has a home and makes it much easier for me to focus on like making those things and, doing those things and finding what I need very quickly and yeah, it's such a big space too. I mean, this space is really, it's a large space. I mean, I know you're only seeing this little corner, but in front of me, there's a couch and tons of shelving. And over here, there's tons of shelving and bookcases and things like this and a coffee table. Like it's a very large space. It's actually the space of my kitchen and my dining room upstairs. So it's a very large space and it feels like there's enough room for everything that I need. It's even nice enough to bring clients down here if that was something that I chose to do, which I'm not really ready for yet. I liked having my business really mostly online. Um, but yeah, there's some other thoughts around that as well. So what else? It's very easy for me to just find everything and everything is really organized, and I really do love that. I've also I did get a new desk and I bought a standing desk. Very important for me to be able to bring my desk up on rainy days. Movement is such medicine for me. So to be able to move my desk to a standing desk some days was really, really important to me. So this desk, I can easily make it standing, and then I have a walking pad so I can walk. So if I haven't been able to get outside for walks, I can walk and work at the same time, which is like a godsend to me. So I really do love that. Movement is an important part of health for me, especially, and I love having it like right built into my workspace. And it allows me to keep moving throughout the day instead of sitting for hours, which, sitting is the new smoking. We don't want to be sitting all day long. I always take breaks, but it's important to be able to get my steps in and move. I do try to aim for about 12,000 steps a day. Like I do like to be moving throughout the day. Um, but beyond like the physical, this represents something a little bit deeper for me. Having a dedicated office space in the basement instead of working from my living room creates like healthier boundaries between work and home life. When I'm upstairs and I'm working, you know, well, I was upstairs working, or if there was something to do and it was later in the evening, it was just so convenient. It was right next to my kitchen and my living room. So like maybe the family would be watching a movie and I'd be like, oh, let me just go do this really quick, right? I feel like this is going to create healthier boundaries. I have very good boundaries in the morning when it comes to my work. I don't start working till 10 o'clock because that's how important light is to me and morning light and being outside. I don't take any clients till before 10, till after 10, excuse me, a.m. But in the evening, I could easily be a workaholic and just be like, yeah, I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. And writing plans for clients, working on content, emails, all the things. So this, I think, is going to help me have more boundaries around my work environment. So when I'm downstairs, I'm working. When I'm upstairs, I'm with my family. Like it's like distinct. It's a different level of the house, right? And that separation does feel incredibly supportive and something that will be sustainable to me. More than anything, it feels like a nice space. It feels like home. I mean, when I first like had everything down here, I just like sat down here. I was like, wow, I have my own like space. It feels like very real. Like, I mean, this has been my career for some time, but I've not had a dedicated space, and that just has a different vibe, frequency, feeling to it. And it feels very calm and grounded and aligned with who I am and how I want to serve people, and a place where I could learn and create and support clients, continue growing both physically, professionally, personally. So I'm really, really grateful to have this space and to have my own space to just come, do my work from. So I gotta work on this background, guys. I'm not really sure. I guess it's okay. Maybe I need something here. I don't know. I had this upstairs in my sauna room and I brought it down. I was like, that looks pretty. Like I needed like to pretty up this space. I don't know. I was thinking about getting like a Canva with my logo on it and putting it behind me or something. I don't know. I still have some things to work on to make the space feel more homey, but I think this corner doesn't feel as homey, but when you look at it like where I'm looking at it, from where I'm looking at it, it looks a little very homey because it's got all kinds of pictures of my family over here, all my books, and it just feels like all my stuff. So anyway, I'm rambling on about this video in my office space. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this brings you some ideas of things you could use for your office space. Like, so if you live in an office, bring in an incandescent light bulb and a lamp. You can just grab one of these strainless ones. My discount code Bright Light Wellness. That will help you bring in infrared light. We're supposed to be surrounded by infrared light all day long, at least when the sun is out. It's the most healing light frequency for our mitochondria health, and modern light bulbs do not have infrared light. You need a good quality incandescent, and strainless light bulb is delivering that. Um, so I would definitely recommend that. If your office space is dark, I would recommend Chroma to give it that lux that it needs. And also, if you suffer from seasonal depression when it's dark winter, that has been a game changer for me, Chroma. It's been so helpful for me through the winter to have that brightness on when there's several cloudy, dark days in a row in the winter. It's been so nice to have Chroma. It's really helps. Code there is Bright Light Wellness. Ethernet. If you need questions about Ethernet, let me know. Walking desks, treadmills, all that. Let me know. And yeah, if you're a client of mine, expect to see me here. And if you follow my YouTube or Substack, which I hope you do, you expect to see me here now from my videos. And yeah, I hope that was really an exciting little, not tour, but if you want to actually visually see it, head to my highlights on my Instagram channel, Bright Light Wellness, and you can go check that out. So yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day, and let me know if you have any questions or how you have any questions about optimizing your office space, because I think that's a really important thing to do, because we can make it work. I'd love to have my laptop outside and just work outside all the time, but today it's like 95 and humid and there's a heat warning and my laptop would melt. Like it's not feasible. The weather can be a challenge, and I do that sometimes, but the weather can be a challenge. The noise can be a challenge. When my kids are home in the summer and they want to be in the pool, and I have a client to do, like, and be outside playing, this is just life. And this just I have that option as well because I have my laptop upstairs, so that's an option as well with a very long Ethernet cord that can go all the way outside. But there's always options, like I said, but I think that we can make spaces like a basement for an office be much more optimal than we realize. And that was my goal here. And this does feel very nourishing to me. All my stuff, like I love having my stuff organized. That just feels like, oh my God, I can find my remedies so much more easily. I can package and make remedies so easily, find all the books I need so easily. It's a beautiful thing. All right, have a wonderful rest of your day. I will chat with you soon. I hope this conversation was supportive to you. And yeah, let me know your questions.